I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not hear me. No, we're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all. We should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back. Start it from scratch. I won't let you go. No, I can't let you go. 'Cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go. No, baby, I will not. Because I still believe. You're my gravity. You will never be what I expected. Different frequencies, that's why we ain't connected. You know I will make it through. I got nothing to lose but you. It's true you're so far away, and it's true I can feel the same. It's another day, you know you want me to stay, but I go my way. I won't let you go. No, I can't let you go. 'Cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go. No, baby, I will not. Because I still believe. You're my gravity. You're my gravity. You're calling on my name, but the echo numbs your pain. Sorry, but more than just a shadow, I'm more than just a man. You don't care how I feel, you don't know how I feel. No, you don't know how. I wash away the sorrow till my heart can beat again. You're my gravity. No, you're my gravity. I will let you go. The only thing that I know, you were my gravity, but now I have to leave. I will let you go. What do you think that I want? What do you think that I want? I know how to breathe into my gravity. 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 I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not hear me. No, we're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all. We should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back. Start it from scratch. I won't let you go. No, I can't let you go. 'Cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go. No, baby, I will not.
Warning: the Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Talking about my generation.
Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here as we get ready for the season finale for the second season of the NNSCRA Duracell Ultra Lite Series. Getting ready to crown our second ever champion here in this series, and we kick off championship race weekend here from Michigan with our final Lite Series race. Kind of interesting if we talk about some playoff trends. This is the first time that the playoffs have ever been implemented in the Lite Series. As last season when Eric Monaco won the championship, it was all about who accumulated the most points. The first time that we've ever had the playoff system here on the Lite Series side, but it's interesting if you look at the previous 6 races. We have gone playoff driver, non-playoff driver, playoff driver, non-playoff driver, playoff driver, and non-playoff driver going to victory lane in these first 6 races. Interestingly enough as well, that all 3 of the non-playoff drivers all are Dark Horse Mustang drivers. So I don't know if there's much in it, but if the trend is to be believed, that means that one of our final 4 should end up winning today's race and subsequently would end up winning the championship. We'll have to wait and see if that holds true, as 30 drivers are ready to take the green flag here today. Only 4 drivers are still in the hunt for the championship, so that's a little less than a 1 in 7 chance of these drivers being able to close out the season with a checkered flag and a championship trophy. But we ended up having 4 drivers make their way into this final 4 at the conclusion of Rockingham last week. Those drivers are as follows. The number 95 out of Southern Cross Racing, piloted by 3-time winner Cam Wright Jr., a driver who won his way into the Final 4 a couple of weeks ago at the High Banks of Daytona in the number 20 out of Trackhouse Racing. His first win of the season was a big one in Eli Bright. A driver that won earlier on this season to lock himself into the playoffs at Iowa, driving for Joanna Atwood Motorsports. Had a top 5 run at Rockingham last week, Cody Majoric. And last but not least, a driver that led the most laps last week, finished inside the top 5 as well. A second entry out of Trackhouse Racing, 2-time winner on the season, and one of those 2 wins at the sister track to Michigan Auto Club Speedway. That would be Juan Garcia. So it's going to be those 4 drivers looking today to lock up the championship, and also on the line, if they so choose, a guaranteed chartered ride in Season 9 of the Duracell Next Gen Cup Series. For those 4 drivers, the goal is clear here today. Finish ahead of your 4 competitors. You do that, you're more than likely going to be winning this championship trophy. We will have to bear in mind bonus points for most laps led or a lap led should that scenario arise, but pretty much you just have to keep the rest of your competition in the rearview mirror. For the other 26 drivers in this field, their goal is pretty simple as well. Win at all costs. Win by any means necessary. There's no more race after this week. We have an off season and a brand new season on the horizon here. This is it. This is the finale this is the last opportunity to be able to end out the season with a checkered flag. For a number of drivers, they've already got one this season. They'd love to be able to add to their resume. For other drivers, they're still looking for their first, having some pretty consistent seasons, but no wins to be able to show for it. And then other drivers, they've just been struggling on both fronts. They've not been able to be consistent, and they've not been able to find victory lane. They just want to end out the season at least on a high note here and carry some momentum if they end up returning into Season 3, which we have had word there are a number of drivers that actually are planning on returning here to the Lite Series in Season 3. So some definitely good momentum to close out Season 2 could be used to maybe get Season 3 started off exactly the same way. Jack Mitchell going to line up on the pole position for this one. We're going to see him pulling off the double here, as he'll be in the Cup race here tomorrow afternoon. Mitchell ends up becoming, if I remember correctly, I think I said he was the the fifth Cup driver to claim a pole position here this season on the Lite side, joining the likes of Eric Sadler, RJ Bishop, Anthony McCrory, and Bryce Egan. He's looking for his first Lites win on the season. We've seen only one driver out of Adrenaline Motorsports go to victory lane this season at Lucas Oil Raceway with Dave Smith, so looking for the second win for that organization here in Season 2. Aubrey Powell will line up to his outside. Aubrey had a great season, ended up finding victory lane all the way back at Pocono, advanced up into the second round of the playoffs, but was unfortunately eliminated last week at Rockingham. So looking to close out what's been, aside from being in the Final Four, a really solid year there out of Haas Racing. Going to start with good starting track position there in second. Wes McCoy, another former winner on the season, back at Kentucky, looking for his second win on the season. And the highest starting of our Final Four is going to be Cody Majorek in that second row outside that 74 Travel Chevrolet. We'll have to see. Really, you think about it, Michigan Auto Club, we saw it earlier this season. Not exactly a track position track, but if he could stay up front, certainly, starting at the front would at least be the best start instead of having to try and cut your way through a bunch of traffic. Juan Garcia going to start right behind him, though, in the fifth position. So two of our Final Four competitors will start inside of the top 5. 3 of them will start inside of the top 10. Is Cam Wright Jr. not that far back, going to roll off the grid from the 9th position. The lone driver mid-pack is going to be Eli Bright, who had a tremendous second round of the playoffs. He'll start 18th off the grid, and he'll look to make his way up here to the other 3 as they fight for this season's championship. Let's go down trackside, get those most famous words in motorsports to go racing here in the Irish Hills.
Drivers, start your engines!
See the pace car leading this 30-car grid off of pit lane. Bottom right of your screen, for one final time this season, you will see your starting lineup. The 4 highlighted yellow drivers are those that are competing for the championship title here this afternoon. Pretty straightforward. We don't have to give you any points or anything like that. All 4 drivers come into this race tied at 3,000 points apiece. Driver that has the most points at the conclusion of this one will be taking the championship and maybe be looking to move up to a chartered ride in the Cup Series for Season 9. 60 laps await us here today, 120 miles for these drivers. As mentioned, we ran the sister track at Auto Club back in the regular season finale, and Juan Garcia was the winner of that one, his second win on the season. So keep an eye on him. Does the notebook that they were able to formulate after being at the Auto Club Speedway, is that going to be what they adhere to here in terms of their car setup and what they plan to use in terms of strategy? Or is Michigan going to be an entirely different beast altogether, and all 4 championship drivers are going to have to kind of learn on the fly based off of track conditions? First of 2 championships that will be acquired here this weekend. We'll have the Cup drivers here on track tomorrow afternoon at 1. Jack Mitchell will be a part of that as well, not unfortunately competing for the championship as he was eliminated in the previous round, but here this afternoon, he's leading us to green in the final lights race of the season as he makes his way down the front straightaway. Flagman has the green flag in hand, and we are racing at Michigan. Keep an eye on our playoff 4. How much of a sense of urgency is there to get up here and get a bonus point lap lead? Could be a difference maker between winning the championship and being runner-up. Right now, looks like we're double wide, first 3 rows, and then you got him 3 wide. That's Cole Koibe getting stuck in the middle. Cam Wright Jr. forced him up out of the way, trying to move his way up towards the top 5. Jack Mitchell going to lead us back to the stripe. He will lead the first lap of the afternoon. Teammates will be side by side for second. Wes McCoy on the bottom. Aubrey Powell on the top side. And here comes that 95 of Cam Wright Jr. He's going to get Juan Garcia for 5th. Now looking to get a little draft there. Was a couple of cars got the wall there off of turn 2. Might have been Autumn Brooks, Nathan Fogler, Dave Smith, some of those drivers up there in that outside line. I don't know if there was contact or if they just overdrove the corner. Trying to look through there. It doesn't look like anybody's got any visible damage. But I'm not 100% certain. You also saw right there Cam Wright Jr. inside line through 1 and 2 appears to be good. 3 and 4, it's the high side as both Cody Majorek and Juan Garcia swung back around the 95. Majorek into second, Garcia right behind him in third. Again, a couple of cars going up there and brushing the wall, and one of them that time I think might have been playoff contender Eli Bright, as Aubrey Powell will go to the lead. Look at him stacked up 3 wide further back there. Whoa, Juan Garcia! Just turned Aubrey Powell off the nose of the 19. What a save! How in the world, first off, did Aubrey Powell save it? Secondly, how in the world did she not lose the lead? That was crazy. And somehow, some way, Powell still has Juan Garcia in the rearview mirror. Here comes Garcia now. Aubrey gives him a lot of room this time through 3 and 4. Can Garcia get enough momentum off the final corner to snipe a bonus point for a lap lead? Doesn't look like he'll be able to this time. Cody Majorek right now on the top side of Wes McCoy. That's the battle for 4th. Cam Wright Jr. up top 3 wide there with Colin Grace and Cole Koibe. Ooh, little brush there off of turn 2 for him. That wall kind of juts out as you're coming off of 2, and I think that's what a couple of drivers are hitting. I'm seeing some flares, some sparks coming off of the right rear quarter panels, but I'm not seeing anybody pancake the outside wall. Everybody that's gotten up into it appears to still be up to speed with no visible damage, so maybe that's just going to be a running theme here today and maybe during the course of the weekend. As Cam's now got to find his place in line behind Wes McCoy, right in front of Roberto Crown Jr. Want to just double check back here on the 20 of Eli Bright. He's found his way to the bottom. Last time by scored in 19th, and yeah, there is no visible damage on the right side of that car. That was a big hit right there, though, for Jackson Haywood in the 93. So as we're seeing drivers kind of skim the wall on their way by, as that tire heat starts to build up in the right front and cars get tighter and tighter in traffic, we may end up seeing heavier contact with that outside wall as the race progresses. Garcia cannot get by Aubrey Powell for that top position. Can't quite get her at the start-finish line. So Powell denying Garcia that lap-led bonus point, and here comes Cody Majorek trying to close up on the Jack Daniels Toyota Supra. This would be the battle for second. More importantly, would be the battle right now for the championship. Garcia's determined. wraps the white line there through 3 and 4, draws back alongside. He might be able to get enough of a run this time. Let's see. I think he's still ahead. Garcia, I think, led the lap. Yes, he did. That's huge. That's a bonus point for Juan Garcia. And now he's going to take the lead outright. Saw him lead the most laps last week at Rockingham, brought it home inside of the top 5. They brought the same kind of speed here today as he's showing the way. And right now, Cody Majoric's in a bit of trouble. He went to the bottom through 1 and 2, lost some ground. Here comes Cam Wright Jr. to his outside. This would be the battle for who'd be second highest right now of the playoff drivers, and looks like Juan Garcia may not lead another lap because Aubrey Powell crossed him over. She's got her teammate right behind her in Wes McCoy, and she was able to snipe that lap away from the 19. So Juan Garcia would love to get another extra bonus point for leading the most laps, but he's got at least one in the bank right now. That top side is so strong there through 1 and 2. You have to really lift out of the throttle, it looks like, on the exit of the corner as the car pushes up. And that middle to outside line is able to generate such a run down the back straightaway. As way up the track went Colin Grace, taking 3 wide. That's Cole Koibe in the middle. Cam Wright Jr. was trying to make that move on the bottom 3 wide. He's going to lose a couple of spots here down the front straightaway, including one to his Southern Cross Racing teammate, David Dixon. We talk about track position here at Michigan doesn't really mean a whole heck of a lot. I'm kind of looking back, seeing if there's any drivers that started towards the rear of the field that have worked their way forward, and one that I'm noticing, though he is getting a little loss of momentum there through 3 and 4, is Sean Galligan. Sean started this race from 24th, and last time by he was scored in 14th. I think he gave a couple of those spots back there on this lap. Dropped back to 15th place. But you can work your way forward from the rear of the field. There's that outside line momentum we were talking about. This time Aubrey Powell around the outside of Juan Garcia. She'll go back to the point. Garcia slops back to second, and now he's got a teammate right behind him. 2-time winner Roberto Crown Jr. Now it's going to swing up there to the outside line. I don't know if that's to make a move on Garcia or if he was trying to block the 0-1 of pole sitter Jack Mitchell. Meanwhile, teammates side by side for the lead. Wes McCoy tried to maybe pull off the slide job there against Powell, not able to do it. Saw the flames coming out of the tailpipes there as he had to bail out of the throttle a bit there through the center of the corner, try and get the car to rotate. These cars are looking like the worst combination you can possibly have at a track like this. Loose in, tight off. That's Roberto Crown Jr. with a nice push there from Jack Mitchell. Going to get himself a lap-led bonus point here. Obviously, we ended up having 9 drivers advance into the second round with a chance of getting into the final 4. 5 drivers subsequently got eliminated last week at Rockingham. Doesn't mean that they don't have something to race for still, those 5 drivers that were eliminated. Grace, Powell, Langland, Taylor, and Crown Jr. They could still end out the season 5th in points. Might not seem like much, but if you're able to finish the best of those that were in the same boat as you at least feel like you were able to accomplish something short of winning the championship. Colin Grace has now moved into second. Colin, another 2-time winner on the season, won the very first playoff race back at Road America, something no driver will ever be able to say that they did first, since this was the first season that we had the playoffs here in the Lite Series. And all of a sudden, battle for the championship is starting to heat up. Cam Wright Jr. has been able to get to the outside of Juan Garcia. Now remember though, Garcia's led a lap, so for Cam Wright Jr. to win the championship now, he'd have to finish not 1, but 2 positions ahead of the 19. If Cam Wright Jr. did not lead a lap today and finished only 1 spot ahead of Juan Garcia, guess what? They'd be tied. And for those that are wondering how would the tiebreaker be determined, well, first off, it would be in terms of wins here in this final round. As we having pit stops this early on? No, it's just cars getting really loose down there on the bottom. If a driver ended up winning today, they would obviously win the championship. But the tiebreaker actually goes back to the last round of the playoffs and who had the best average finish. Which between Cam Wright Jr. and Juan Garcia, I think it would end up being Garcia, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. But it may not be a bridge we have to cross here. We'll have to wait and see. Cam Wright Jr. now up top 3 wide with Colin Grace and Wes McCoy. I've been slowly watching Eli Bright making his way forward. On the flip side, been watching Cody Majorek slowly start fading back. Look at this back here. 4 wide. Is that 2 rows deep? Oh, Nathan Stapleton. Oh, we got trouble! Chris Darlington's around. Oh, look out! Playoff drivers, some of them are in it! Cam Wright Jr.'s in the middle of this. Jack Mitchell's around. Nathan Fogler, a lot of damage. But the 95 of Cam Wright Jr. was involved in the wreck. And he's got damage on the left side. Caution will wave for the first time today. We're racing back to the stripe here as well. Nathan Stapleton damage. We saw him up and into the wall. We saw both the Michael Norman Motorsports Mustangs around. In Michael Turner and Chris Darlington. Looks like actually both the Southern Cross Racing Chevrolets were in it. David Dixon's got damage on both sides of his DHL Chevy. And what about the other playoff drivers? Oh, Jordan Anderson's badly damaged. Someone's up here smoking, I think. Autumn Brooks is on pit lane. That black smoke might have been from her machine. Garcia got through. Eli Bright was right in the middle of it. I don't know how he got through. And looks like Cody Majorek got through as well. So Cam Wright Jr., this is bad news for him right now as he's got damage. We'll have to see if they can get that repaired. Pit road's going to be open, so this also takes out of our hands the opportunity of knowing how far these drivers can make it on fuel. Would this put them in the window to make it the rest of the way, or will they still have to come to pit road? Not certain, but let's try and figure out exactly what happens here. I think there were 2 different incidents. And this one, I think, is what started the big wreck. Let's watch the 40 of Chris Darlington as he makes his way off the back straight. Oh, Cam Wright Jr. got into the wall, came down into David Dixon. Daniel Voiles was involved as well. A lot of damage on his machine. There's the shot into the back end from Nathan Fogler into Cam Wright Jr. Then a follow-up hit as well from his teammate David Dixon. Let's watch this again from the chopper cam. And watch the orange 95 on the outside. Right there. Comes off the wall down into the 45. Yet Dave Smith also collected up. Brody Kupski's in it. Dylan Young got a piece. Craig Batson was in it. And as this was going on, I don't think, let's double check, I don't think that Nathan Fogler, or not Nathan Fogler, I'm sorry, the other Nathan Stapleton who got in the wall, I think that it didn't end up causing a wreck. He's into the fence right in front of Skylar Taylor, and yeah, you see the wreck happens up ahead of him. Oh, Stapleton got a big hit there as well. Reggie Fogelman in the 11 might have gotten some contact. Not sure about the 93 of Jackson Haywood. Watch this onboard. Eli Bright was literally right in the middle of all this. How he gets through, I'm not sure. Let's listen in and see if he got any damage of any kind. Little side swipe there for Daniel Voiles, but how about that? That could be a championship winning move. Take one final on board. This is with another of our final 4 championship competitors, Cam Wright Jr. Those final 2 shots are the 2 shots that I'm worried about in terms of the damage that Cam Wright Jr. might have sustained. I mean, they might be able to get him out there to log laps, but I'm not sure if he's going to be up to speed, specifically aerodynamically. We'll see. It's like they've pushed Nathan Fogler's Duracell Toyota Supra behind the wall, so a tough way to end out the season for him. Nathan with a victory earlier on this season back at Homestead Miami Speedway, but came into this race 26th in points, the lowest of all the drivers that have taken every green flag this season as full-timers. So it's not going to be a solid season 2 for Nathan. It's like everybody else that was involved in the wreck, they have continued on. The 60 of Autumn Brooks, again, as we saw, maybe she came to pit road when they were coming back to the yellow. Maybe came down to closed pit road. She's being scored on the lead lap here still, too. So I thought that she might have been a driver that didn't drive away from the incident, but scoring still has her on the lead lap at this point in time. And that's the same for all 29 drivers that are still out there on the racetrack. So let's reset, as we should get the lights out this next time by third of the way through this race, as lap 20 will be completed when they hit the stripe. Roberto Crown Jr., right now the race leader, was first off of pit road. He'll have a couple of Toyotas right behind him out of Haas Racing. That's Aubrey Powell and Colin Grace. All 3 of those drivers, actually the top 4 drivers there, along with Kyle Langland, all eliminated from the Final 4 last week at Rockingham. Highest playoff contender is going to be 5th. That's Eli Bright. Wes McCoy is in 6th. Playoff contender Juan Garcia will run 7th. 8th will be Cole Koibe. 9th, Craig Batson. And 10th is another playoff driver in Cody Majoric. Cam Wright Jr. going to start deep in the field in 27th place. Let's see if they've been able to do any repair job on that car. Right side looks good. Not sure about the left. Left side looks like it's pretty good as well. What I would be concerned about was the shot he ended up taking in the back end from Nathan Fogler. You can see it's kind of pushed in there, has almost the shape of Nathan Fogler's Toyota nose. Not sure with that back end pushed up, that spoiler up in the air, that's going to create more drag down the straightaways, how that's going to affect his straight line speed, but we'll have to wait and find out. It's never over till it's over here in the season finales. We've seen drivers involved in early wrecks find some luck with their other championship competitors having issues and be able to capitalize and still stay in the fight. Cam Wright Jr. still has 2/3 of this race to be able to work with. Roberto Crown Jr. currently has clinched the bonus point for the moment for most laps led. This lap time by will be his 10th lap out in front. Aubrey Powell right behind him has led 8. 2 laps led for Juan Garcia, which of course we're going to have to bear in mind when we calculate the championship standings, and the only other driver that has led a lap so far in this one was the pole sitter, Jack Mitchell, led the first lap. Green flag back in the air here. 39 laps to go. We started the race double file, we restart single file, so let's see how anxious these drivers will be to start getting really racy with side by side. Looks like the answer is right out of the gate, as here comes Colin Grace looking for the lead down the back straightaway. Aubrey Powell, Eli Bright trying to pick a lane there. Eli really had to bail out of the throttle. Look at how far back he drifted there. Almost into the grill of Kyle Langland. And here comes Cody Majorek to his inside. That would be for the lead in the championship as Alberto Crown Jr. hangs on for the top spot. Coming to the stripe. Majorek now going to try and build some distance between himself and the Trackhouse Racing teammates, the 20 and the 19. He's bringing Dylan Young along with him. How about this? Great run there for Dylan, getting through that wreck. I think he was actually behind the wreck, just came to a stop and let it all sort itself out. Dylan started this race from 28th and now up inside of the top 10. We'll see him tomorrow afternoon in the Cup Series race as well. Driving that all-star car here today out of Bishop Family Racing. And right behind him is Ralph Mason, who started this race from dead last. 8th place is where he's currently at. Ooh, Langland got the wall there. He's going to hold up Cole Koibe. You saw Cap Batson make an evasive turn to the left to avoid if the 26 came off the wall, much like we saw happen in our first caution with Cam Wright Jr., who, by the way, let's check on right now and see what the diagnosis is on that Flaming Cheetos Chevrolet Camaro, and it does not look like the diagnosis is good. Clearly off the pace, not able to stay up in the lead pack, battling right now for 25th with Nathan Stapleton. Looks like David Dixon, Jordan Anderson also off the pace further back here, and then Autumn Brooks right now is the slowest car on track. That is, I think that's more engine damage than aero damage for the Ghost Mazda out of Garage 55. And that will be something to kind of keep an eye on here as this race progresses. If we go into another long green flag run, is that slower traffic, will we end up catching them at some point here? And that's going to put pressure on these race leaders to pick the correct lane to be able to get by the slower race car or race cars, depending on what the situation might be. Dylan Young, look at that, nice move there, gets to the right rear quarter panel of Wes McCoy. He's going to try and go for the race lead here. Drives it deep into 3. Can't quite get the car to rotate through the center, and McCoy is going to drift up in front of him. No, he's not. He had him cleared, but he moved back down to give Dylan Young a lane. I'm not really sure that was a wise decision, because now Dylan's going to have the preferred line here going into 1 and 2. Run they're going to get down the back straightaway. Wow. It's like those drivers just shot out of a cannon. Young, Grace, and Batson all cleared Wes McCoy before they even got halfway down the backstretch. That's just how good of a run you can get in the top side there off of 2. And Dylan Young will now lead this race. The Bishop Family Racing car has been close a few times of going to victory lane here in the Lite Series this season. RJ Bishop, Eric Sadler have given it some good runs here. Dylan Young, this is his 8th start this season in Lite Series. 1 top 5 and 3 top 10s in the previous 7 starts that he's made. Battle for the championship. Wow, big lift there out of both Juan Garcia and Mike Tellier, who was very shallow going into the corner. Last week's winner from Rockingham, actually, is he coming to pit road? No, he just was really, really low there going into 3. Had his left sides on the apron and had to lift because of it. And now that's kind of broken up this group from the lead pack. It's about 8 drivers here that are going to hope that they can draft their way back up to this lead group. Majoric's been able to open up a bit of distance there now after we saw Juan Garcia have to lift the previous time in the entry to 3. Remember, for Majoric right now, since Juan Garcia ended up leading a lap earlier on, so he got really loose there trying to move up the racetrack for teammate Reggie Fogelman, Cody Majoric has to finish not 1, but now 2 positions ahead of Juan Garcia to take the championship. And this time crossing the line, Majoric was 9th, Juan Garcia was 10th. They'd be tied right now. Not sure between Majoric and Garcia if it came down to a tiebreaker who has the best average finish in the previous round. Majoric had a better finish than Garcia back at Rockingham. I'm not sure where the two would stack up in relation to Arizona and Daytona. Let's figure that one out. Majoric was 6th at Arizona. Garcia was 9th, so advantage Majoric there. Daytona, Majoric was 22nd and Garcia was 17th, so advantage Garcia. And then as mentioned last week, Majoric was 2nd and Garcia was 3rd at Rockingham, so it'd be close. Maybe slight advantage courtesy of Daytona to Juan Garcia, but I'm not 100% certain. Wes McCoy able to get the race lead away from Dylan Young on the previous lap. He and Craig Batson will move by for the top spot. And second place, Wes McCoy, as we mentioned, a former winner this season, 17th in points. His victory this season is his only top 5 scored so far here in Season 2. Craig Batson, a former winner in its own right, as he went to victory lane very early on in his Lite Series career. Didn't start all the races either. He ended up not making his debut until race 4 at Pocono. But it was only, I believe, 5 weeks later that he ended up finding victory lane at the Texas Motor Speedway. Juan Garcia has gotten by Cody Majoric as we are almost 4 wide back here. That's Eli Bright trying to make a move, one of our championship drivers. Right now, Garcia would be in control of the championship point standings, but Majoric and Eli Bright are right there. Aubrey Powell got the wall off of turn 2. Going to lose some momentum down the back straightaway. Bright's going to swing around the outside of Cody Majoric here through 3 and 4. Majoric battles back. A couple cars up ahead is that 19 of Juan Garcia, as they're going to have to make their way around the 60 of Autumn Brooks. They have caught slower traffic here. Let's keep an eye on these Championship 4. Who's going to do the best job of getting through? Looks like Juan Garcia is going to get held up there on that top side. We're 4 wide coming off of the corner. This could be tight. A couple cars got the wall. Majoric, I think, got through the best. Then Eli Bright. Juan Garcia is still trapped behind the 19, and Mike Tellier, again, very shallow, has to bail out of the throttle going into 3. Garcia now will get to the inside of Autumn Brooks, but he's going to lose a number of spots, specifically to 2 of the Championship 4. So now Cody Majoric in control of the championship points lead, as he's currently in 7th place. Let's take a couple laps around the track here with the Joanna Atwood Motorsports Chevrolet and listen to just how you have to finesse your way around this 2-mile racetrack. You heard that lift through 1 and 2. That brings Eli Bright to the outside of Cody Majorek for position. Little slip up there, though, from the 20. Loses him some ground. Colin Grace is going to get by him, and that'll be a one-car buffer now between Majorek and Bright. Juan Garcia, after getting held up there by the slower car of Autumn Brooks, trying to fight his way back up into the conversation. He's got his hands full, though, with the 38 of Cole Koibe on his inside. You know, you kind of consider it here, too. Could teammates come into play? Well, the 20 and the 19 are actually teammates out of Trackhouse Racing, so I don't think they're going to be working together. The 70 of Cody Majorek has lost his teammate effectively. Jordan Anderson is still running, but badly off the pace after being involved in that first caution of the afternoon. So Anderson, by all effects, is on his own. How about Reggie Fogelman, Cup Series driver? And that all-star car at Trackhouse Racing tried to get the race lead from Wes McCoy. Going to pay for it there on the bottom of 1 and 2. Cat Batson right up here with him in the 39. Putting together a solid run as teammate Craig Batson drives it deep there on the top side of that three-wide formation. Roberto Crown Jr. finds himself in a KB Racing Enterprises sandwich out of 4 and down the front stretch. What in the world happened to Eli Bright? Oh, he's on pit road. These regularly scheduled pit stops here, maybe? I don't know. But the 20 just hit pit lane. As did Autumn Brooks. Could we see more drivers come into pit road here, maybe? I don't know. Like we said, we didn't know what the fuel window was. Maybe the window's open to make it the rest of the way now, and drivers are going to make their final pit stops of the afternoon. But that's a gutsy call there if it is a scheduled pit stop for the 20 car. The big reason why it's a gutsy call is he came down pit road practically by himself. And this is a racetrack where you need draft, so we'll have to see how that pans out for Eli Bright. Going a little outside the box here in strategy as we're closing in on 20 laps to go. So I would assume at this point in time that we would be now in the window to make it the rest of the way. We went about, I think it was 14 laps before that first caution came out. I assume that they were going to try to make it as close to halfway as possible. We went back green on lap 22. So we would be about 19 laps into this run right now. So if we're looking around the 20-lap mark, it'd be within the next couple of laps that we'll see drivers making the dive onto pit lane as Wes McCoy continues to show the way. The driver right behind him, Roberto Crown Jr., did have the most laps led at 13. Wes just eclipsed him with his 14th circuit out in front. Cody Majorek right now looking good in terms of the championship as he's currently in the 5th position. His nearest competitor, Juan Garcia, right now in 10th place. If we end up having a green flag pit stop here between now and the checkered flag, though, that could be the difference maker. Ooh, Craig Batson got the wall there. Hangs on to it, though. No contact with anybody else. If you're just joining us here, I think we're going to have some drivers pitting now. Yep, here comes Roberto Crown Jr. Here comes Cat Batson. Wes McCoy up ahead coming in as well from the race lead. Dave Smith is in. Mason, Galligan, and Mitchell all on pit road. So coming to pit lane with about 18, 19 laps remaining. And this is what Eli Bright wants to see. The question is, though, is Eli Bright going to be up in the lead pack when the cycle is done? He's trying to take advantage of fresh tires here, but he doesn't have draft. Dylan Young going to take the race lead, at least for the moment. Let's see if he drives to pit road this time, or if he doesn't, who does? Looks like he might be pitting this time around. Same for Cody Majorek and others. Reggie Fogelman going to try and maybe force his way down here as well. I think everybody from the lead group is coming to pit road this time by. And there is a wall here at Michigan. You see it right there. This is a rather spacious pit road, but if trouble breaks out, there's not a whole lot of room to maneuver to get by. So hopefully all these drivers make it onto pit road safely here and leave as such. Looks like they all got onto pit road there. Cam Wright Jr. still mired back in 26, so effectively he's out of the championship picture. Wes McCoy of that first group going to come out ahead of Cat Batson and Dave Smith. There's Eli Bright. This might work out for the 20, actually. Wow, I was very skeptical about Eli Bright and his chances here with coming to pit road by himself, but this might actually work out very much so in his favor. Now, granted, he's going to have the most worn tires of everybody on the back half of this run, but he was able to leapfrog Roberto Crown Jr. He was able to leapfrog Sean Galligan. Question is, though, can he leapfrog the 70? He just got by the 19 who was coming off of pit road. Where's the 70 of Majorek? There he is. So he was not able to get Majorek, but he is up to speed. His tires are up to temperature, and he's blowing the doors off of drivers that are just coming off of pit lane. We'll have to see where Bright is going to be scored in relation to Majorek. Looks like there's only going to be about 3 positions difference. David Dixon going to go a lap down here. Field is spread out, so getting by slower traffic will not quite be as difficult as it would have been when they were double and 3 wide in the lead group. Now it comes down to lap times and draft manipulation, as Dylan Young is going to cycle to the point. He led the second large group down pit road. The driver that led the first large group down pit road, Wes McCoy, is the one that's breathing down his neck trying to get the top spot back. And they're closing up on Autumn Brooks once again to put her, I believe this would be a second lap down, as, I don't know about this decision. We're going to split her on the front straightaway. McCoy went low, Young went high. I don't know who's going to win out in that situation. Let's follow the 70 and the 20 here, as Majorek will go around the outside of Autumn Brooks. Looks like Eli Bright's going to take the inside path down the back straightaway here. They'll both get by. Juan Garcia, where did he cycle to? He's all the way back here now in 16th. And not a whole lot of draft availability right now for him. A long ways up to Kyle Langland. Some distance back between him and Jackson Haywood. And then they're pretty spaced out behind him with Kupski, Powell, and Dollarton. So this is not a good scenario if you're a fan of Juan Garcia, because right now he doesn't have any drafting help to get him up here to the 70 and the 20. Jordan Anderson going to go a lap down there as they'll get by him. How about Dave Smith on that cycle of pit stops, making his way up to the 5th position? And for his second win on the year, trying to cap off an Adrenaline Motorsports Chevy starting on the pole, with an Adrenaline Motorsports Chevy taking the checkered flag. Right now, if you're Cody Majorek, you are loving the situation. You don't have to win this race. It's not a must-win scenario for any of the Final Four coming into this race. It wasn't a scenario. It was just finish ahead of your competition. And right now, he's up here in this lead group. He's solidly inside of the top 5. What he has to hope now is that 7th place number 20 machine of Eli Bright isn't able to, with the pack he's with, catch up to this lead group. I almost wonder if Cody Majorek right now might end up putting a little bit of emphasis on trying to get a lap-led bonus point, with the fact that there's only 4 other cars up in this pack with him. Or is he comfortable just to ride? 2 Cup Series drivers up here in this lead pack as well. We've already had a Lite driver win a Cup Series race in Eric Monaco. That was back at Gateway. And then we've already had a former Cup Series driver win a Lites race this season. That was Chris Dollerton a couple of weeks ago back at Arizona. But Dylan Young and Reggie Fogelman, who's now taken the race lead, they'd like to also add their name to the list of a driver that has won both a Lites and a Cup Series race in their career. Here's the pack that Eli Bright is with. Cap Batson, Colin Grace, Cole Coybe, Mike Tellier in this pack, along with Sean Galligan. I don't know if lap times will tell us much on whether they're going to be able to catch up or not, but they are single file, so they'll get some good straight line speed here. If Cat can just barely get a whiff of draft off the 15 of Dave Smith, I think they're going to be back up here in the conversation, which is not what Cody Majorek wants right now. He wants to run away with this thing. Eli Bright still wants to have a chance. 10 laps to go here from Michigan. Here's Majorek looking low for second on Dylan Young. Trying to take advantage maybe of those slightly fresh tires. Not able to do it though. That outside line, 1 and 2, specifically off of 2. It's rubbered in here as well now with 51, near 51 completed circuits. So that's just more and more grip up there that outside line is able to get off the second corner as Dylan Young trying to draw a bead on Reggie Fogelman. You see Fogelman kind of straddling right there, how he had his left rear quarter panel in front of Dylan Young, had his right rear quarter panel up there in front of Wes McCoy, trying to disturb the air on the nose of both of those machines. Aero blocking. Chevy's on the bottom here. Dave Smith going to work with Cody Majorek. Wonder if there's a little Camaro alliance going on there. Dave trying to make sure that a Chevrolet wins this title. There were 2 Chevys, 2 Toyotas that were in the fight when we began this race. One Chevrolet is pretty much out of it now with Cam Wright Jr., who's still on the lead lap, albeit damaged off the pace in the 24th position. Majorek's the last hope right now for Chevrolet to be able to win the championship here this afternoon. And I'm not certain if Eli Bright's going to catch up now. I thought this pack were organized up, but they've been a couple of times side-by-side racing with each other. They got to stay formed up, but they're not. Mike Tellier now making a move on Eli Bright for 9th place. That side-by-side is going to hurt both their lap times there as well. I guess Dave Smith is not helping Cody Majorek, as he almost turned him in the left rear quarter panel, getting as low as he possibly could there on the bottom of 3 and 4. Will there be more traffic to deal with here in these final 7 laps? Got Nathan Stapleton, Daniel Voiles right there making their way off of turn 2. Leaders come off of turn 2 right now. There's about maybe 2/3 of a straightaway between those 2 machines and the race leaders. They might end up getting caught before this race is over. This is exactly what that second group needed to do now. Stay single file. They're racing side by side ahead of you. Colin Grace has caught the draft. So Grace is back in the hunt. Coybe, I think, is back in the hunt. Batson as well. Tellier and Bright, we'll see if they're able to draft up here. Eli Bright may not be done with Cody Majorek. The championship battle may still be on here. Going to be coming to 5 to go this time by. Yeah, they've caught the draft. So now if you're Cody Majorek, you've been all offense here since the cycle green flag pit stops. Now you're going to have to start playing some defense. Look at the gap Reggie Fogelman's been able to open up back to Dylan Young because of them racing side by side for second place. That means if they get single file, he is going to be a sitting duck. 5 laps remain here at Michigan. Cody Majorek and Eli Bright appear to be the 2 that are going to settle it out here for this championship here in Season 2 of the Lite Series. It's interesting because Cody Majorek was announced returning to the 70 in Lite next season. If he wins the title, does that change? Remember, he gets a guaranteed chartered ride for next season. in the Cup Series, should he so choose. Look at the run! Both lanes were able to get on Reggie Fogelman going into turn 1 there. I'm sorry, that was into turn 3. That traffic is up ahead, and we're coming to 4 to go. Eli Bright's lost touch with Mike Tellier. That's good news if you're Majoric. This is not good news, though. There is a wall in front of you. Where the heck do we go? Fogelman's going to try outside. Can't work. Dylan Young tries inside. It's not working. They're walled in. A blockade. Where do you go? We're going to go 3 wide for the lead. Colin Grace up the middle. Reggie Fogelman, though, got the run off a fork. He'll get to the outside of both Daniel Voiles and Nathan Stapleton. So Fogelman will go to the lead. McCoy will go into second. He'll cross to the inside, looking for the top spot now through 1 and 2. Cody Majoric trying to get his way by the 23 of Daniel Voiles. He'll do so. Oh, now going to get held up, though, by Nathan Stapleton. The 20 is right back there. Eli Bright, 2 laps to go. Does he still have a shot? Now Majoric will get to the outside of the 97. Colin Grace now moves into the second spot. Swings around teammate Wes McCoy. Fogelman continues to lead. Moves top to block Grace. Moves low to move the dirty air to the nose of the 8 of Wes McCoy. You saw Wes McCoy have to lift through the center of 1 and 2. This next tie by is going to be the white flag. Majoric right now solidly in the 5th position. Eli Bright back there around 9th position. Still boxed in. I don't think there's any chance for him to be able to pass upwards of 6 cars in the matter of 1 lap. Here we go. White flag is in the air. 1 lap remains here at Michigan. Here comes Colin Grace with help from a teammate. Might be looking to pull off the slide job here through 1 and 2. Ooh, gets tight on the bottom. We're going to be stacked up side by side down the backstretch. Cody Majoric is pushing the heck out of Reggie Fogelman. Majoric would love to end out the season with a victory as well. Way up the racetrack goes Majoric. That slip-up is going to cost him the win, but he'll get the championship. Down the front straightaway, here comes Colin Grace. Big run, could be a photo finish. Did Grace get it? I think Colin Grace got it. With help from teammate Wes McCoy, Colin Grace is going to end out the season with 3 victories. 28 1,000ths is what they're saying it was at the line. Colin Grace snipes the final checkered flag of Season 2 from Reggie Fogelman, becomes a 3-time winner on the season, tied with Cam Wright Jr. for most wins in Season 2, and it's going to be a 5th place finish. That is going to net Cody Majoric the Season 2 Duracell Ultra Lite Series Championship. Majoric's going to take himself a championship victory lap. Well deserved. Started this race from 4th, ran top 10 the entirety of this race, executed on pit road, and never fell out of the top 5 in that final run to the checkers. Cody Majoric is going to not only be the first driver to win the championship since the playoff system was implemented in the Lite Series, he is also now guaranteed, should he so choose, a guaranteed chartered ride in the Cup Series for Season 9. Joanna Atwood Motorsports picking up their first Lights championship in the Lite Series, as well as Cody Majoric is your Season 2 champion. What a race, what a battle to the start-finish line. Let's see if we can just quickly go back and get a more decisive replay of how close that finish was coming to the checkered flag, I thought that Reggie Fogelman had it. But Colin Grace got to the inside, coming off of 4. And Wes McCoy, as a matter of fact, it was a complete team effort. Behind Colin Grace, you've got Wes McCoy. Behind Wes McCoy, you've got Cole Koibe. Haas Racing team orders working together in a 3-car tandem to get Colin Grace's Toyota Supra nose to the stripe first. That is how close it was, folks, for the final checkered flag of Season 2. And subsequently, it's going to be 3 of the Haas Racing Toyotas finishing inside of the top 4. Grace, McCoy, and Koibe. What a tremendous job there for that organization this afternoon at Michigan. Reggie Fogelman will bring it home in 2nd. Majorek with the championship gets 5th. How about the Bishop Family Racing cars there? Dylan Young and Mike Tellier, 6th and 7th. Dave Smith was 8th, Cat Batson 9th, and Kyle Langland finished in 10th. There were a couple of times I thought Eli Bright had a chance to get up there in that lead pack and work his way up into the same zip code as Cody Majorek, but it just seemed like circumstances continually plagued him from being able to do so. He'll finish 2nd in the championship standings as he brings it home in 11th. Sean Galligan, Craig Batson, Skylar Terrell, Roberto Crown Jr., that was your top 15. Juan Garcia, the green flag pit stop cycle hurt him as he lost touch with the lead pack, drifted all the way back to 17th. And then we had only 1 caution today, but it swept up Cam Wright Jr., who will finish last car on the lead lap, but in 23rd place. So a great season for Cam Wright Jr., for Eli Bright, and for Juan Garcia, but they will come up just short of claiming the title of Duracell Ultra Lite Series champion here in Season 2. That goes to Cody Majorek. Congratulations to Colin Grace, 3rd win on the season here to cap off Season 2 here at Michigan, and big congratulations to Cody Majorek as he is the Season 2 NNSCRA Duracell Ultra Lite Series champion. Hope you guys enjoyed this season finale here from Michigan. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become a part of the crew today. We showed you your full finishing results, I believe. Let's just do that real quickly here. As you see the rest of the drivers that finished, Nathan Fogel, the only driver out of the race. Now that we've shown the full feature results, these are your point standings for the conclusion of Season 2. Cody Majorek, it will be interesting to watch the career of this young man as he will potentially now make his way up to the Cup Series for a chance of running for that championship. We'll have to wait and see what the future holds for him. We'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we get ready for the Cup Series drivers to run for the championship in their Final Four battle. That'll be here to cap off what's been already an exciting race weekend from Michigan. Until then, though, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of NNSCRA TV, Offline Racing at its best.
The following has been a presentation of NNSCRA TV for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of the NNSCRA is prohibited. NNSCRA would like to thank all of our loyal fans, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.